Today started as a day of healing, consolation, and a rousing exhortation that Boston's spirit remains undiminished. That was the message heard by the over 2,000 people assembled at Boston's Cathedral of the Holy Cross. Members of the general public, anxious for a seat at Boston's Holy Cross Cathedral, gathered early this morning, lining up in the pre-dawn chill, waiting for the doors to open. When they did, it was a calm and orderly first come, first serve. They were later followed by invited guests and members of our congressional delegation. Former WBZ-TV anchor-turned-minister Liz Walker opened the special interfaith service.
I welcome you as we gather in community to help heal our beloved city and this violence-weary world.
Boston Mayor Tom Menino, seated on stage in a wheelchair after breaking his leg in a fall last week, broke hearts as he stood on his own accord.
And since the clock struck that fateful hour, love has covered this resilient city. I have never loved it and its people more than I do today.
Among the ministers, priests, and rabbis speaking today was Nasser Wadadi of the New England Interfaith Council, who reminded Boston that we now share a common bond with much of the world.
I was living at the time in Damascus, Syria. On one afternoon, while walking back home from school, I experienced the terror of a car bomb that exploded on my route. I will never forget the sound of the blast, the confused rush of humanity, and the anger and the fear these feelings returned on Monday.
Boston's Cardinal Sean O'Malley delivered a message from Pope Francis.
The Holy Father prays that we will be united in the resolve not to be overcome by evil, but to combat evil with good, working together to build an ever more just, free, and secure society for generations to come.
Following a solo piece by Boston's own renowned cellist Yo-Yo Ma, Governor Deval Patrick spoke of his personal anger, but ended with a firm resolve.
So we will recover and repair. We will grieve our losses and heal. We will rise, and we will endure. I am honored and humbled to welcome our friend, our leader, our Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States.
Every one of us has been touched by this attack on your beloved city. Every one of us stands with you. Because after all, it's our beloved city too.
The president spoke personally of the 3 people who died Monday. 23-year-old BU grad student Lou Lindsay, 29-year-old Crystal Campbell of Medford, and 8-year-old Martin Richard of Dorchester, whose face has become the symbol of this terrorist attack.
Our prayers are with the injured. As you begin this long journey of recovery, your city is with you. Your Commonwealth is with you. Your country is with you. We will all be with you as you learn to stand and walk and, yes, run again. Of that I have no doubt. You will run again. You will run again.
All right, and with me now is Jared Bowen, who was with me at today's service. Well, we were just amazed, blown away by the organization, the simplicity of this. And here they were, 2,000 people, and how, the corralling, and there was no pushing and shoving, and everybody was so polite, and it was just an incredibly, and I have to give the governor's office a lot of credit for this, too.
They organized it very well, and I think it goes to the question you posed to me either last night or the night before. Does it matter that the president is coming and that we have a service like this? And I think today we saw all the reasons it does matter. I think we've been through so much. We've been so traumatized that everybody needed to be together. I was talking about it last night, too, with the people giving hugs. Whether it's a physical contact that you want to get from a stranger or it's somebody you feel in some capacity. It was so terrific to see Mayor Menino struggle up to the podium, captivating the entire audience with his strength to get up there and deliver what I think is one of the most powerful speeches he's ever given in this city. And the governor, I thought, I need to hear the person who talked about, have a backbone. I need that person from the DNC to now be before me, and he delivered. And then the president, it almost didn't matter because it was the president there, but the president made such a wonderful connection to Boston, which I'd totally forgotten about it, in that he had gone to Harvard. So this was his city, too. So it felt like family. We were congregating, and we were getting it through people we knew. The first few days, it felt like a breaking news story, and today there was just a sadness about it. And walking over there this morning, and all the impromptu memorials all over the city, walking up there, and this being the culmination of just the recognition of how sad it was. But there was a shift today. I mean, we got to recognize that, and we saw a palpable change in the mood this morning, one you might even describe as exhausted when we first arrived at the Cathedral around 7 o'clock. For those waiting in line for this morning's interfaith service, there was hope, if not a lot of conviction.
I think it'll give solace at least to people and contentment. I don't know if it's enough to change the whole city.
They gathered as early as 4 a.m. Roommates and marathon volunteers Patrick Kornicki and Robert George, looking for something to lift their spirits.
It's just words of encouragement from President Barack Obama, something to, bring back to our communities, to share with our, fellow citizens of Boston. Everyone's like such a tense atmosphere right now.
The energy's a little sad, and that's normal, but I'm expecting great things for President Barack Obama.
They got it.
This time next year, on the third Monday in April, the world will return to this great American city to run harder than ever and to cheer even louder for the 118th Boston Marathon.
I spoke to you just a few hours ago in line. How do you feel now?
Oh, my God. It was just so moving. The speech was just unbelievable. The atmosphere in the room was just so energized.
Do you feel that something has changed?
For sure, yeah. Just a renewed sense of interest that there is hope and that we will strive and we will move forward.
For a city reeling, caught in the trauma of terrorism and mired in uncertainty, today was a turning point, a moment when the city reacquired its spirit and was roused to its feet, literally and figuratively.
That's what a service is supposed to be. We honor those we've lost. We supported those who are injured, but we talked most of all about the future.
Today just puts words to the feelings that most people that I know already have. It's a terrible tragedy. We're thinking about people who have been injured and people who have lost loved ones, but we're also resilient to come back.
Healing was first and foremost the agenda and tone for today's service, says Reverend Liz Walker, who offered the welcome.
It was more, we have an opportunity to kind of set the stage, not just for Boston, but for the country, because people are going to be watching this, and show them how this city looks at healing.
We're going to be up. We're going to be finishing the marathon. We won't allow these haters to in any way deter us.
And perhaps for the first time since Monday, today there was a groundswell of resolve to make that true.